Hello, everyone, and how are you? So this is your insurance coach here, Katrina. I haven't been on in a minute, but I just wanted to pop in real quick just to talk about insurance a little bit. As you know, I sell life insurance, health insurance, property and casualty insurance, which is auto insurance, business, commercial insurance, you name it. If it's insured, if you can insure it, pretty much I probably can provide a coverage for you, right? With all that being said, I wanted to talk about a coverage that is a life coverage that is called a 10-pay life coverage policy. So a 10-pay life policy can provide you coverage for the rest of your life, no matter how old you are. So my boss, she was telling me about how she has a 10-pay life policy on herself and her other family members, including her children. Check this out, right? So this is how a 10-pay policy works. You pay on it for 10 years and it covers you for the rest of your life. So she was explaining to me how, with this coverage, not only will it cover you for the rest of your life, but if you were to purchase a 10-pay policy on one of your children, say soon as your child is born, don't have to be, but we're just using this as an example. So pretty much she purchased this policy for her daughter when her daughter was born, and her daughter is 8 now. Now she has 2 more years to pay on that policy, and her daughter will have that policy for the rest of her life. Okay? I don't think you understand. Let me explain exactly what this 10-pay policy is. So this is a life policy that would not only provide coverage just in case someone was to pass away, but you can also borrow off this policy. Okay? Have you ever tried to borrow money from anywhere? Including people, including the bank? A lot of times that's a hard thing to do. But with the 10-pay policy, she was telling me, she purchased that policy for her daughter. Her daughter is now 8 years old. So she only has 2 more years to pay on the policy. And she can borrow off her daughter's policy. Of course you have to pay it back, but how many policies would allow you to pay 10 years on that policy and have that policy for the rest of your life, and it would pay out a death benefit in case that person was to pass away? Once I found out about insurance and how insurance works, it's just so many different benefits to having insurance, life in particular, because it just benefits you in so many ways. So say you take out a 10-pay policy for yourself, right? So you pay on this policy for 2 to 3 years. It builds cash value. And this cash value is the amount of money that you can loan off. You can borrow off this money. So it wouldn't be the payout money. So a certain amount of that money you will be able to borrow off of. And I'm not talking about no couple $100, no couple thousands of dollars. Well, it gets pretty high up in there for the amount of money that you could borrow off. Let me just put it like this. You can borrow so much money off your 10-pay policy that you can put a down payment on a home, okay? And use that home, okay, let's talk about it. Let's get into that part. And use that home as a rental property and continue to make money off that on a regular basis and bring in an extra income. Okay, or you can use that money that you borrow from the policy to purchase some land and then put whatever on that land that you want to have. Or, it's just so many ways to build generational wealth. Okay. It's no excuse not to, once you know, and I'm going to say, because everybody don't know, because I didn't know. I didn't know that you can use the policy to borrow off of and use that money to purchase other things that can make you money on an everyday basis, okay, on a daily basis, and make money while you sleep and have an extra benefit or an extra income coming in. I mean, times are hard right now. I don't know who's who's not struggling out here, but the struggle is real. And if it wasn't real before, it's definitely real now. But there are ways around that. Of course, like I said, for the 10-pay policy, life policy, you definitely will have to build that cash value for about 2 to 3 years, possibly about 3 years. Also, with the whole life policy, you would be able to do the same thing. Now, with the temporary policy, which is what most people purchase when they're working on a job, usually that policy you can't take with you. You usually have that while you're working. And sometimes you can switch over and, if you was to leave a job, get fired, something like that, you could continue paying on that policy and have it with you. But of course, the premium is probably going to go up, and they may just ask you to, take a medical exam or something to keep the policy. So that's how that works. With a policy from work is usually a temporary policy. You usually don't take that with you. If you do, it's probably going to be higher, and the benefit probably won't benefit you much. And so that's the difference between a term policy or a temporary policy and a whole life policy. And like I said, the whole life policy comes in many different forms. You can get that in a universal life policy, as a 10-pay policy. They also have 15-pay policies, 20-pay policies, which is the same concept pretty much. You would pay on it for 10, 15, 20 years, and then you will build cash value after 2 to 3 years. You could borrow off that. You only pay for that time period, and then you don't pay any more money for the rest of your life. And it pays out a death benefit. And of course, that death benefit goes to the beneficiary. So, and some people know because they borrow off their life policies. Older people, I would say, really know a little bit about how their life insurance works. But I would say they probably don't use it to the benefit that they could use it for. They might just use it to get $1,000 or $2,000 off the policy just to pay some bills or something, when you possibly can get $7,000 to $10,000 to borrow off it and use that to, like I said, purchase something that's going to bring in some extra income for you, so you could pay that money back on the policy and have that full benefit as a payout for your beneficiary, and still be making money on a regular basis from whatever it is you purchase. Nowadays, they used to say, well, it still is true, that cars aren't an asset, right? But nowadays on Turo, if you have a car, you can rent that car out. And it doesn't matter what type of car you have, because they even have Corollas on there. And I ain't trying to say nothing about a Toyota. Toyotas are very good cars, very good cars. They last a very long time. But, that could be an extra income, right? So I just wanted to, I don't know why my hair is everywhere. But I just wanted to check in, because once I heard that news, I just had to run and tell somebody. You could definitely build some generational wealth out here if you invest in your money in the correct way. And a lot of times people don't know how to invest their money. But of course, you can, use that policy to borrow off of and invest the money, invest it in different ways. Also, like, I wouldn't say Bitcoin because I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but if you were to invest in, say, some stocks or bonds, you could definitely do that, with the policy. So, of course, like I said, you have to wait that 2 to 3 year time period, but during that time you could be planning out your life. Okay. And a lot of times, while we're young, we don't even think about it. And I'm young. I'm 42 years old, but I'm still very much young, I would say. And but I would say, we need to have conversations with our children at whatever age it is that they will be able to understand, insurance, and how insurance works. You purchase the policy and it pays out a death benefit. If they can understand that much, then they could definitely understand how a 10-pay policy works, how you can purchase a whole life policy and use that to borrow off of to build wealth. Because, these young people are like, they're doing big things out here. Okay. And just think about their minds with some money that can build some wealth for you and your family. It's amazing. With that policy, you don't have to go to a bank and ask a bank for a loan or do any of that. That can be very frustrating, worrying about whether or not you will be approved or denied for that loan. 9 times out of 10, you will be denied because with most loans from banks, they want you to have some type of asset in place. But so you could purchase, you could borrow off your loan, purchase an asset, okay? Let it accumulate some wealth itself and take out a loan from a bank. I'm just saying, I wish I would have known about this type of how all this works to build wealth, to bring in that passive income, which is that income that can accumulate and build while you're asleep. I wish I knew about that when I was younger. I would definitely be sitting pretty right now, right? But I am here, your insurance coach, Katrina, here to share with you the details of how insurance works and how it can benefit you and put money in your pocket and save you a lot of headache. Yeah. It definitely can. It definitely can. And of course, everyone knows my story. I got married to my husband, my late husband. He passed away about 3-4 months after we got married. And I was left with nothing. Not an insurance policy to fall back on, not any retirement of his to fall back on. And we pretty much had a lot going on. Of course, he had a lot more than I did. So when we came together, we pretty much was living off his benefits. And once he passed away, we weren't. well, I wasn't. So then that's how I got into insurance. And now I know a couple of things. So I like to let people know. And the earlier, the better, because this is the thing. A lot of young and old people don't like to talk about insurance, but the conversation needs to be had. Okay, let's be mature here. All right. We know you're born, you die. Okay, that's how that works. There's nothing wrong with having plans in place to protect yourself. Go ahead and get your burial covered and leave some wealth for your loved ones behind. So while they're grieving, they can also have some money to move forward and not have to stress and worry about bills. Okay. It just is what it is. I mean, it could save them a lot of stress. If you have children that have to bear you and then don't have, still be struggling trying to pay their bills and bear you and all, make sure your policy is enough. What we like to say is, if you're, figure or think about what all do you have? If you have a home, if you have a mortgage, then you think about how much that mortgage is. You want to be covered for that. If you have a car that you're paying a lease on, or that you have a lien on, you want that to be covered as well. So stuff like that, or things of that nature, can be taken care of, including your burial, and then that way your family don't have to worry about covering the mortgage on a monthly basis, or even that car payment. A lot of people I talk to about insurance, they say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to speak that into existence." And it's like, okay, all right. Just make sure you have a plan in place for you and your family, because there's a lot of people out here who don't care, who don't have policies. And then when they pass away, you're left to figure out how you're going to cover that burial. And a lot of times people don't care about, paying for a car if they're gone. Okay, that makes sense. What if you're paying a mortgage on a home? A home could bring in an extra income if, the children don't want to live there. A lot of times children don't want to take on their parents' home. Okay, so if that's the case, then let the state get it, because that's what's going to happen. The state's going to get it. They're going to auction it off. Someone's going to purchase it for a cheaper price and rent it out and make a whole lot of money on it. That's just reality. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to pop in here and provide some information about insurance. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave me a message and leave me a comment, and I will answer that question for you. Please feel free to leave a message and ask about insurance, okay? I'm here to wake you up, okay? Coach Hall is here to coach you on what to do to make some money for your family and leave some generational wealth for your loved ones, so that if you believe in reincarnation like me, they won't come back to that family or that bloodline with the family that's in debt. Okay. A lot of people don't like me to say that, but I do believe in reincarnation, and I tell my children a lot, like, no, while we're here, we want to build some generational wealth, because I do not want to come back to a broke family again. I don't want to do this again. All right. And I know you don't either. So yes. So this is, again, your girl, Coach Katrina Hall. Yes, leaving you a message about insurance, okay? If you don't know, ask somebody. I'm here. Ask me. All right? Talk to you soon. Peace.